I don't know what to say because I usually say welcome back to a reading vlog, but this isn't a reading vlog. Or if I'm gonna donate it. What? Okay, all of them just fell. Hi guys, welcome back to my first TBR video. Even though I think I did one like 2 years ago when I was in my old apartment, long time ago, but now we are in my new era and we are doing a TBR video for the fall. Since it's basically fall, I wanted to pick out some fall books to read for this upcoming season, but I also wanted to pick out some books with you guys in this video. So we're gonna pick out 10 books total. I have 5 books set aside in front of me, and then we're gonna pick out another 5 from a little wheel that I have on my phone. To get into it, first I'm gonna start off with the 5 books that I've selected. They're all like Halloween or cozy fall vibe. The first book that I grabbed is Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. This one I wanted to read last year and I just never ended up getting around to it. So this year it is on the TBR. It is a priority TBR member. I don't know much about this book, but I know that one of my favorite booktubers, Heather McClary, loved this book. She said it was just a cute, fun read. On the back it says, he has to marry by his 35th birthday and she's sworn off love. And it looks like they work at a cemetery or something, but the doodle is adorable. I really love it. It says, painfully shy Callum Flannelly would rather dive into an open grave than take a stranger to dinner, but he can only inherit the family undertaking business under one condition. He must marry before his 35th birthday. Texan animator Lark Thompson moved to Galloway, Ireland to restart her life and career, not to be reminded of losing her husband by moving in next to a funeral home. Okay, she's going through some grief. He needs to find a wife. And then it also has a blurb from Abby Jimenez that says, sweet and spicy and fabulous. So if Abby has her stamp of approval on it, then I also think I will very much enjoy this. I've also been reading a lot of general fiction, more serious books lately. So now I just want to have like a cute, fun romance on my fall TBR that I can just sink my teeth into and get into like a cutesy mood. The next book I have, I've actually learned this is the second book in a series, so I'm hoping that it's okay to read on its own, but it is A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire by Sarah Hawley. I mean, the art, again, the cover will get me. I will buy a book based on the cover. It's adorable, it's light purple, and I love purple, and it says, Ben Rosewood never meant to be bound to a vampire succubus? Especially one as sexy yet terrifying as Eleanor Betancourt Devereaux, but he has to admit there are some fantastic perks. Okay, so it looks like Ben is the werewolf and Eleanor is the vampire, which I kind of guessed based on their little vibes on the cover, but it says that Ben is happy with his life 100%. Everything is fine. His business, Ben's Plant Emporium, is thriving, and he's even expanding the shop. His anxiety disorder is, well, it's been better, but that comes with the territory of running a business and having beastly urges every full moon. As for romance, who has the time? Though his family is desperate to see him settled, Ben is fine approaching 40 as a single werewolf. But after drunkenly bidding on and winning a supposed possessed crystal on eBay one night, he finds himself face to face with a beautiful yet angry vampire. Eleanor is a rare breed of vampire what is this word? Succubus? Born from 2 elite European bloodlines during medieval times. Thanks to an evil witch, she's been stuck in a crystal since she was 30, forced to obey orders from the possessor of the rock. Eleanor's been dreaming of breaking the spell and severing the witch's head for centuries, but did the witch really sell her to someone new? And for only 99 cents. Wow, this actually sounds really good. I'm really excited to start this. This sounds amazing. Wow, okay. This is going to be such a good read. I am so excited to start this. This will probably be my next video because right now I'm filming a vampire books reading vlog. So then after that, I think I'm gonna do werewolf books, and this is the perfect blend of both. So I think I have enough werewolf books to create a whole reading vlog. So after my vampire reading vlog, I'm gonna do werewolf book reading vlog, and this will definitely be in there because this sounds adorable. The next book on our TBR is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This one just has the cutest, coziest fall vibes. I don't know what about it. It doesn't say anything specifically that it's fall, but it just seems like fall. And then I was looking in it while I was grabbing the books for this video, and I didn't even know this art was in here until right now. I just found out about it like 2 minutes ago. It's so cute. It gives the best vibes. And it says, all Rhaenyra and Chianthe want is to open a bookshop that serves tea while firelight drifts between the rafters. But Rhaenyra works as one of the queen's private guards, and Chianthe is the most powerful mage in existence. Leaving their lives isn't so easy. But after an assassin takes Rhaenyra hostage, she decides she's thoroughly done risking her life for a self-centered queen. Meanwhile, Chianthe has been waiting for a chance to flee responsibility. All the better that her girlfriend is on board. Together, they settle in Tawny, a town settled in the icy tundra near Dragon Country, and open the shop of their dreams. What follows is a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen throwing the realm's biggest temper tantrum while these two women discover what they mean to each other and the world. Again, the cutest little vibes. Oh my god. This sounds adorable, and I don't know if I'm saying their names right, so I'm gonna have to look that up before I do a reading vlog on this book. But this is adorable. Oh my god, I'm so excited to read this. Such a cozy, like, fantasy mystery book. Wow, that's so cute. Oh my god. It's crazy what happens when you actually read the backs of the books that you buy, because usually I buy them based on the covers, even though you're not supposed to do that, or I buy them based on recommendations I've had from people I know in person or online, or if I'm in the store, I'm gravitated to it, I'll read like the first kind of chunk of the blurb, and if it catches my attention, I'll just get it. This is the first time I've really gone in depth and read the blurbs on the back, and I'm really excited for all of these books. Moving on, we have The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. I know this one is about werewolves, so I'll most likely include this in my werewolf vlog, but it says, two wolf shifters agree to be fake mates but unexpectedly find something real in this steamy paranormal romantic comedy. Mackenzie Carter has had some very bad dates lately. In fact, she hasn't had a successful date in months. She's only a year out of residency, and her grandmother's obsession with finding her the perfect mate to settle down with threatens to drive her barking mad. Out of options, she feels like it's a small thing to tell her grandmother that she's met someone. That is, until she blurts out the name of the last man she would ever date, Noah Taylor, the big bad wolf of Denver General. They're both doctors! Okay. Noah Taylor, interventional cardiologist and all-around grump, has spent his entire life hiding what he is. With outdated stigmas still surrounding unmated alphas, Noah has been careful to keep his designation under wraps. It's worked for years until an anonymous tip brings everything to light. Noah is left with two choices: come clean to the board and risk his career, or find himself a mate. The chatty, overly friendly ER doctor asking him to be her fake boyfriend on the same day he's called to meet the board has to be kismet, right? Mackenzie will keep her grandmother off her back, and Noah will get a chance to prove he can continue to work without a real mate. A mutually beneficial business transaction they both rationalize. But when the fake mate act turns into a very real friends with benefits arrangement, lines start to blur and they quickly realize love is a whole different kind of animal. These are all so cute. This is what I've been needing. I've been reading too many general fiction, more serious plot lines, or like serious fantasy books. I just read The Serpent and the Wings of Night and Silver Elite. These are just like cute fantasy books because it's got the werewolf element, but then it's just like cute and stupid. It's like a werewolf in Grey's Anatomy. It's just fun. This is exactly what I've been craving, and I am so excited. This lineup is phenomenal. I should have read these books so long ago. The last pick for my Halloween, more paranormal type Halloween book is Defiance by Alexandria Swanson. This is actually an indie published book that was very kindly sent to me, so I'm very excited to read this. It says, a magical world of werewolves, witches, and vampires exists in parallel to the human world. An uneasy peace prevails with few true friendships across the species. Chloe Rowan is a witch with the ability to harness the power of all 5 elements to do magic, making her unusual and powerful. One night, after a coven celebration, she happens upon Victor Rasputin, a lecherous and bloodthirsty werewolf. A fight to the death changes Chloe's life instantaneously. She is now the pack's alpha, their leader. Grappling with her new responsibilities, Chloe didn't expect to meet the love of her life, or that he might want her dead. As the pack begins to find its rhythm, a seemingly random border attack threatens all that they have worked to rebuild. Chloe must uncover the web of lies and deceit Victor created before her coven and pack are killed, and the rest of the supernatural world among them. A story of courage, kindness, and love, Defiance shows it's not where you come from, but what you stand up for that truly matters. That's adorable! I really like that, and this book is just under 300 pages. It's such a nice book. I'm so excited. I love anything with like witches, vampires, werewolves, anything paranormal like that is right up my alley. So I'm very excited for this. But those are the 5 books so far that we've decided to pick for my fall TBR. Now let's pick 5 more off of my physical TBR. Behind me, this book cart is my physical TBR, and then this skinny shelf right here is my physical TBR. Let's grab my phone, and I think we're gonna go based on color. I think that'll be our fun way of deciding what to do. First though, I am getting tired, so we're gonna open up A Witch's Brew for the occasion. This one is actually from last year, so it's still the old formula that has the caramel in it. I have yet to find the new ones in the wild. Once I find them at my store, I will taste test whether they have caramel in them or not, because everyone is saying it's more just green apple and not carameled apple. This one you can smell the caramel in it, and it's so sweet, so I kind of have to cut it with some water and ice. But it's so good. Delicious. Some witch's brew to get in the mood. I have a variety of genres on my shelves. We have fantasy, we have thrillers, we have romance, we have general fiction, we have young adults, some horror. I'm not gonna pick nonfiction. This is gonna be a separate thing. So on my wheel, I think I'm just gonna do the colors. I don't think I'm gonna do any titles except for, okay, I didn't prepare my wheel for this video, so we are flying by the seat of our pants. On this wheel, it has 2 types of greens and 2 types of blues, so I'm gonna change one of the blues to a black and one of the greens to, should I do white or pink? Let's do pink. So then we have a little more variety of what we can do. Okay, my wheel looks a little wonky, but it's just all the colors, and then whatever color it lands on, we're gonna pick a book which cover has that color. That was a twister. Anyway, let's spin the wheel and see which color. Red. Okay, a red book. Interesting. Interesting. I see a few red books that I'm going to grab. Does this count as red or black or blue? I can't tell. I'm gonna keep this one out because it has some red, but I don't think it is red. I'm sure I have more somewhere, but I think we have a healthy selection to pick from. So the first book in An Ember in the Ashes series is red. So we could start this series this fall, which I'm not opposed to. But then we also have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. This one's mostly red, and this has been on my list. Then we have You May Not Kill the Bride, is also red. Then arguably the most red is Serial Killer Support Group. Very, very red. I want to read these all. And then we have Iron Widow. I would say this one's mostly red. It could pass for orange, but I would say it's mostly red. Let's see. I feel like these 2 are the most red, so we should choose between these 2. I really want to start both of these. This is hard. Even though I usually don't stick to my TBR to begin with, I feel like this is still a very hard decision. But I think I'm gonna go with Serial Killer Support Group just because we're picking books for the fall and Halloween, and this seems like the right vibe. So we're gonna choose this one for the TBR. However, I do feel like I will be reading this series soon, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, yay! We have our first book. Now we have to do this 4 more times. Let's spin our wheel again. Sorry if there's dog hair everywhere. Pink. Let me grab all of my pink books. Let me see. I'm surprised more books aren't pink. I'm gonna have to redo all my shelves after this because they're a mess now. Okay, again, I may have others. Also, if you see like a pink one on the shelf that I didn't grab, it might be because it's like the 4th book in a series. Like Reckless, you could say that's like orangey / pink. I don't even know if it's on frame, but that's the 4th book in a series, so I'm not gonna choose that book when I haven't read the other books. Anyway, these are all either standalones or the 1st book in the series, or I've already read the books before them. So let's look at all my pink books. First we have Confessions of a Canine Midnight Drama Queen. This one I got as a blind date with a book. I still don't know if I'm gonna read this or not, or if I'm just gonna donate it. We'll see. We'll see about that one. Then we have One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. It's actually signed because she did an event at my Barnes & Noble, and I got 3 of her books signed. So that's really exciting, and it's mostly pink. The next one is Slice of Cherry, which is kind of pink. It's like blue and pink, but the back is fully pink, and the spine is pink, so this one's like a 50-50 on whether it's pink or not. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. It's mostly black, I could argue, but it's also pink. Then Emily Henry's Great BBL. This is very pink. Then Not in My Book, pink. Not in Love, pink. And Wild Love, pink, very pink. I think Wild Love is getting kicked out because I want to read Chestnut Springs first before I read Wild Love, even though it is its own series. So I still grabbed it because it's its own series, but I think there are other books in this stack that I would rather read in the fall. I'm also gonna kick out these 2 and this one because in the fall I go for more spooky thriller fantasy type books, and I'm also gonna kick out this one. It is between these 3 books, and I already have my winner, even though it's not the most pink, which is the rule I used for red. I've just been really wanting to read this book. It's called Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves, and it's about the kids of a serial killer who become serial killers. So I feel like the fall is the perfect time to read that, like October, late Halloween vibes. But it just sounds really fun, and I really want to read it, and this is my channel, so we're choosing Slice of Cherry as the pink book, even though it's not. I'm gonna hold it backwards because then it classifies as pink. I just have stacks of books on me. But let's choose our next color. And if we get the same color again, I think I'm just gonna spin again. Unless, I don't know, we'll decide. It's a game time decision. See if it even happens. Let's spin. Purple. Purple's gonna be hard. Purple books don't really exist. Play Along is the 4th book in a series that I haven't started, so I'm not gonna grab that one. We could read Fix Her Up. She is purple. This is more blue. Is We Hunt the Flame purple or blue? I think it's more blue to black. Is this purple? I think so. I think it's purple. I think that's all the purple I have. It is between Assistant to the Villain and Fix Her Up, which this is an old book talk book that I still haven't read yet. I think if we're going on theme, we're gonna pick Assistant to the Villain because I have wanted to read this for a while, and it feels like fall is the perfect time to read a book about a villain, you know? Does that make sense to you? We're going with Assistant to the Villain. That was the fastest one because there's only 2 books. Okay, book number 4. Let's spin. Please not purple. Blue. Crap. There's so many blue books. There are so many blue books. I don't even want to grab them all. Hold on. Okay, let's go through all the blue books. And I'm pretty sure I have more blue. Yep, I just found another blue one. We're gonna stick with this stack because I'm sure there's more on the back side of my cart. But there's already so many to choose from, and I doubt anything still on the shelves is gonna be that important that I have to include it. And I'm also just feeling a little lazy. So we have like 10 to 15 options already in front of us, so let's just pick from these. We have The Sanatorium. I started this a while ago. Only got, let's see, got 33 pages in and then moved on to something else, so we could reread this and try to finish it. Then we have Lessons in Chemistry. I counted this one because this edition that I have is very blue, so we could read Lessons in Chemistry. Remarkably Bright Creatures is a book I have been wanting to read, so we could read this. Another book I've been wanting to read is The Games Gods Play, because this is a beautiful edition. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And the second book is coming out semi-soon, I believe, either this year or next year. So we could read this. We could also read The Traitor's Kiss, which I got a long time ago. It is a YA fantasy book. We could start the Shadow and Bone series. I highly doubt it, but we could. We could read It Happened One Summer. We could read The Lies of Loch Lamora. This is a new book that I just got for my birthday trip. We could also read Legacy of Night, which is an indie book that I have been wanting to read. We could read North is the Night, which I believe is about werewolves, which I love, or just wolves. I don't know if they're werewolves. Again, Beautiful art on the inside. Beautiful foiled edition. This book is just gorgeous all the way around. We could read Voyage of the Damned, another striking edition. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls. Another beautiful edition. We could also read A Song to Drown Rivers, another gorgeous, gorgeous girl with a sword. Gorgeous girl. And lastly, we could also read A Fate Inked in Blood, which arguably is not as blue as the others, but it does have blue edges and a lot of blue details. That's a lot of blue books. It is giving me fatigue just to think about it. I think we're gonna say no to A Fate Inked in Blood. I think we're gonna say no to A Song to Drown Rivers. I'm gonna set aside the books that I have been thinking about the past few months and the books that just have not been on my mind at all. So I would say no to It Happened One Summer. That has not been on my mind lately. We're gonna say no to Shadow and Bone. I will get to this series eventually just because I want to read Six of Crows so badly, but we will read this eventually. This one I do want to read, but it hasn't been on my mind lately, so we're gonna say no for now. We're also gonna say no to Lessons in Chemistry. I do want to read it, but it just hasn't been on my mind lately, and I already have 5 books that I have been thinking of, so we're gonna pass for now. And we're also gonna pass on The Sanatorium because I haven't thought about this book in forever. I don't know where to put this one. It's so floppy. It just deserves to be read. Look at this. We're gonna put it in the pile of maybes. This is what we have for the maybe pile. Let's pick which one we're most likely to read. Let me lay them out so I can look at them all. If I'm being honest, I think I am between these 2 books, Remarkably Bright Creatures or The Games Gods Play. This one I kind of want on my TBR just in case I want like a fun, quirky read to kind of break up all of the other books. And this one has been on my mind forever. Honestly, let's go with The Games Gods Play. And if I need something a little lighter, something to break up the vibes, I can always go off of my TBR and read something else. No one's holding me against my will to strictly follow my TBR. So, The Games Gods Play is the blue book. Although I do really want to read these 2 books, so you might see these soon because I do want to read them really bad. I'm just gonna put all these to the side and I'll put them away later. Okay, last color. Let's see if we get a repeat or if we get a brand new one. Ready? Please be a new color. Yellow. Yellow. Okay, great that we got all new colors. Let me see. I don't have that many yellow. Okay, very quick. Not too many to pick from, but we do have some options. First, we have Yellowface, which is a very, very yellow book. Then we have The Unhoneymooners, again, another old book talk book that I just never read. We have Better Than the Movies, which I've heard great, great, great things about. And the classic cover of Love and Other Words. I guess you can argue that this is orange. Is this orange or yellow? Or is it orangey yellow? Anyway, I found this edition at a Half Price Books like a few months ago. Crazy, crazy find. I am super, super happy that I was able to find it because these have been out of print for a long time. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 romances and then 1, is this general fiction? What is this classified as? I don't know what this would be qualified as, what genre this would be. So do we want a romance or do we want something a little different? I'm between these 2. Honestly, I think we're gonna choose Yellowface because this has been on my radar for a while. It has been a book that has piqued my interest, and let's try something new. I'm very excited to see how I feel about this book. A lot of people love it, and we'll kind of see my opinions on it. I didn't know this video idea would be so messy. I have to reorganize like all my shelves because they're so messy now. So let's recap the 5 books we picked out with the color wheel. First, we have the Serial Killer Support Group. I'm very excited for this since it's gonna be like fall time, Halloween time, spooky time. We'll learn about some serial killers. Then we have Slice of Cherry, which is about more serial killers, but now they're kids and they're the children of a serial killer who then become serial killers. Lots of death this fall. Then we're gonna read about a villain falling in love, which I've heard this is actually very funny, so I'm looking forward to this. Then we're gonna learn about gods and the games that they play, and we're gonna learn about Hades and all the stuff that he's up to because he is the god of death. So again, going on with the death theme. And then we're gonna learn about a very racist woman who stole a manuscript, I believe. It says Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. So we're gonna learn about a lot of injustice and racism and discrimination. So death and discrimination is the theme theme of the fall TBR, unfortunately. These are the 5 books that we chose for my TBR. And then these are the other 5 that I chose as my Halloween spooky books. They all just fell. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for picking my fall TBR with me. Stay tuned for more reading vlogs on all of these books. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. I usually post reading vlogs and other bookish things, so if you enjoy content like that, please make sure to follow along, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. I have to now reorganize. But thank you guys for watching.